Oh, yeah. Happy Saturday morning, everybody. Welcome to episode 2 of the Weekly Intake. Here to make sure you start your Saturday with a splash of sodium from Studio 5 in Denver, Colorado. I'm Kicked Tripod. With me is the one and only Trevor May. Good morning, Trevor. It's way too early, man.
Good morning, John. Thank you. Like you said, I'm Trevor May.
Ooh.
Internet prodigy and professional orb thrower, Trevor May.
I like that.
Welcome
like that.
To episode. I gotta say it's super nerdy because I don't think there is a statement or a phrase more nerdy than professional orb thrower.
It's true.
Welcome to this week's episode of the Weekly Intake, episode 2. We have a bunch of great topics for you this week.
We do.
One of which, what do you got?
Oh, what? You want to go into the first one? We jumping right in. I'm down to jump right in.
I mean, we're all about content here at the Weekly Intake, right?
It's true. It's true. Believe it or not, despite popular belief. So we were gonna sit down a little bit and talk about some gamer slang. Not all of us millennials grew up with all these great and fancy terms. Some of us didn't. And so this was really awesome. Who did you say gave you the idea for this topic?
Brian from Bullseye Media. He is helping me create. Oh yeah, he's very official. Create a lot of viewers and listeners to this podcast may already know about this, but the project that we're developing where a lot of different content creators are going to be creating content in the same place and doing things like this show, back to back, giving you guys all kinds of cool different perspectives on different games and stuff. So he has kind of helped me doing the administration and figuring out how to put this all together. And he had an idea that, hey, maybe you guys as a topic could talk about gamer slang, because himself plays a little bit of video games, but he's not just he's not a huge gamer. So, and he knows that even from the most basic ones, the longest lasting, even pre-Twitch abbreviations and things are above his head. So he's like, maybe you guys should talk a little bit about that.
Dang.
I'm like, we're going to be doing this thing on Twitch, bro. Dude. There's all kinds of stuff you never heard of us. So
I think there's still things. I think there is still things on Twitch that people say that nobody actually knows what it means.
No, I want to know where all this stuff came from. Like all the emote.
I think that there are like things when people are like, forehead. And you're just like, why are you saying forehead? Be like, don't ask questions. Forehead. It's like, okay, forehead. Fine. Yeah, you forehead. What? All right. Okay. Good one.
What does that
sir.
mean? And then
I cannot rebut.
You have to be in the chat. You have to be in the chat for someone who says forehead every moment of their life, aka Tim.
Yep.
To understand the connotation of what forehead means.
Right. Yeah. You start developing a definition based on how this person uses it. It's totally different than how other streamers use it. And you're like, all right, that makes sense.
You just make it your own. I guess because we're already talking about forehead, John. Let's give me what does forehead mean to you?
So to me is like, it's kind of like saying, like you dipstick, kind of.
Yeah, like, dunce. Yeah.
Yeah, just kind of like forehead. It's like you're kind of. It's not like being like you're stupid, but it's like it's kind of affectionately calling someone stupid.
Affectionately calling someone stupid. That's a great way. Like it got a little bit of face palm. Like, are you?
Yeah, on, like your forehead. Like yeah, I get it.
And then it pops up a face, right? Where if you see the actual visual of it, the forehead makes sense. But it's always subtle, right? Like the difference between forehead, like hyperlul maybe is like, if you look at the face, you're like, I don't really understand the subtle differences in the visuals of these two, but they mean completely different things.
Do you say lull or lul?
Well, I say lul now. I said lull before.
Okay, I'm because I'm confused now. I'm like, have I been saying it wrong the whole time?
No. Again, like you said, it's all about who uses it and how often they use it and how they use it. So I don't like to ask. If you ask Kate, my wife, I don't like to say words the way they're supposed to be said ever.
Okay.
I always just like switch letters just to make it different. So I'm very perfect for Twitch. So that's where I'll even spell it LOOL or LEWL, even though it's crazy because you're taking a phrase that doesn't mean anything and making it not mean anything again. Or like that it's not a real it's not a real thing in the world.
Right.
And but that's just how, we're we're the internet. So
yeah. Katie, my fiance, and I, what we do is we switch the first syllables of different words. So it'd be like Mevertray, just be like hanging out with Mevertray this morning. And then it takes you a second and you're like, oh, Trevor May. I get it.
I got it. The first words,
Eekly wind take.
Letters. The Eekly wind take. Please don't do that.
That's actually kind of awesome. It's like a wind take. Okay. Yeah. Fair enough. So, all right. So we got forehead out of the way. That was
we got forehead. You go through your list. I'll go through my list. Let's keep this a little bit more organized.
All right. Do you want to still go through ones that non-gamers probably don't know first?
Yeah, let's go with the big basic ones. All the ones that these people be like, yeah, I know what that means.
All right.
Listening, watching.
IRL. IRL is one of my favorite ones. I use it all the time, and it's kind of memey. But it stands for, as far as I know, it stands for basically in real life. So it's when you're referencing something that is going on not inside of your computer, but actually in the world around you. You'd be like, I got to go to work IRL. Doesn't mean that you're going to go farm some ore in World of Warcraft. It means that you're going to go pitch for the Minnesota Twins or something. I don't know.
Yeah, you got to go to GameStop. I got you. And then, a joke that I would do is whenever I talk to a streamer or play a game with a streamer who's a lot bigger in the streaming community than me, and they make a joke about how they're the big streamer, I always say, well, you know what? I'm actually famous IRL.
Yeah, there you go.
They're like, oh, okay, which isn't true. It's a joke, guys. It's a joke. But I always have that in my back pocket. I can play that card at any point because you can make the case that in IRL is a real thing and not IRL is all fake like that. And then a whole thing goes off that, and it's but that's when you hear IRL, that's what it means.
Fair enough. I cannot say that I am famous IRL. I'm famous OTI, over the internet. That's not a thing. Don't let that. That's not a thing. Not a thing at all. We also have AFK. So I use this one occasionally, even when I'm at my Xbox controller. It means away from keyboard, means you're stepping away, right? So, bottom of the ninth, pitching's not go so well. Pitching coach comes out and says, I need you to go AFK. Right. That's exactly how it's used in real life.
That's what Neil
back in the day, you got Ron
says,
Gardenhire whisper in your ear, time to go AFK, Trevor.
I understand.
I get it. Thank you for meeting me on my level. So AFK, I feel like if there's one that people already know, it's probably that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's probably one of the more famous or one of the more common ones for the layman.
For sure. What other ones we got here, Trev? I'll let you take.
I got RPing. So people like this is an odd one. This is the definition of the traditional gamer and the maybe stereotype they get that all gamers like to role play as their favorite characters. Role playing, aka RPing, Simply not true. That isn't what defines people who like video games, but the super hardcore people, the people who go into Dalaran and put on their cool the robes and pretend they're actually the wizard.
Yeah.
that would be called RP. Actually, something very famous or very, very popular right now is going into GTA, right? And running
GTA
around.
GTA RP. Sheriff Eli.
Now they're what do they have? They have the proximity chat now, so like you push to talk and you walk, and everyone who in your crew can hear you.
That's pretty cool.
Or something along those lines. I don't actually know if it's in the game or if it's just like a bunch of people in Discord. To be honest, I'm not quite sure. But yeah, they're talking in the voices of their character, but it's like the people who wouldn't normally RP will go do this because it's GTA. It's kind of what you were doing in your head the whole time when you're playing Grand Theft Auto. Yeah. So like it's become really popular, I guess. Like you get in gangs and they act out stories, and I don't know. I don't do it. I can't do that stuff.
Trev, can I tell you a secret? And you promise not to tell anybody else, that nobody else can know this.
Okay, nobody else can know this.
We're not broadcasting this show on the radio. So no joke, when I was about 10 or 11, my family moved to South Carolina, and I didn't make a lot of friends very quickly because we were better than them in Minnesota at football and baseball. And so they didn't like me very much. So I took to the internet to spend my time. Do you know what I spent my time doing?
I'm going to assume it has something to do with RP.
Yeah. So you remember Yahoo chat? Like Yahoo chat? Like, yeah, they had the chat rooms in Yahoo. They might still, I don't know. I was a Lord of the Rings RPer.
Oh my God.
Aragorn _orc _slayer. I was the big boss when it came to Lord of the Rings RP. Probably spent like 6 or 7 days or 6 or 7 hours a day just, questing through Middle Earth. Don't tell anyone that, though. I'm still embarrassed. But if it was not for those times, I probably wouldn't be here. So silver lining. But yeah, I was quite the young orc slayer, if I do say so myself. Well, you were. Yeah.
How does that even work? Was there a group of you that were all just D&D?
So you pop into the chat room and people are just kind of chatting, and someone will be like, "Hey, I want to go, do a quest RP. Anyone want to go?" And then people kind of volunteer, and depending on how hot her screen name sounds, you determine if you want to go or not. It was kind of one of those things. It was actually
with like 30 N's in the middle.
Yeah, right. Hannah. It was like cutie cakes _Arwen _lover of Aragorn. You're like, I want to go with that chick. It's like a 65-year-old dude, probably. I try not to think of how many people I role played with who were just like playing. It's not even like I wasn't pretending to be Aragorn, it was online, but I wasn't like, I look like Viggo Mortensen in real life, right?
Yeah.
But you automatically imagine that every time you RP with Arwen, she looks like a young Liv Tyler, right? And so I just try not to think about what that really was. Don't worry, though. I've got a story later on about that we'll talk about. Sorry, that was way too much into RP. In fact, we spent so much time on it, Trevor. I feel like I need to bio.
Okay, so bioing.
Yeah.
Is more, I think, more popular. That was said more popularly in WoW, or games where there was some sort of rating. I think really popular in rating because people would be like, bio, really quick, all in chat. Meaning you have to go to the bathroom. It's AFK. It's just more specialized.
Yeah.
So AFK insinuates, here's the distinctions. AFK insinuates a longer
mom-made pizza rolls.
Yeah. Meaning you might be 5 minutes. Yeah. Bio is like 30 seconds or a minute. You're like, I'm running and I'm running back. So don't worry. It's not going to be very long. or bio break, or people just be like, I have to pee, which also works.
What they should do is we should change it. So it's bio 1 and bio 2. Bio 1 is 30 seconds. Bio 2, 4 to 5 minutes.
Depending on, what's on Twitter. Could be a little bit longer. Yeah, those are,
what's on Twitter.
There's, what do you do when you bio 2? I'm sure bio 1 and bio 2 were taken.
It's true.
Or have been used by some sort of clan somewhere, I'm sure.
Probably.
There's probably all kinds of just crazy. Like, we could get really into it. We could talk about the point systems. Like, all these I learned from WoW, and then they went in other games. But those are like 4 big ones. I mean, we could go all day probably talking about these things. But IRL, AFK, RP, for those people who don't play video games and probably aren't planning on to anytime soon, and you're just listening because you're interested in what the hell we're talking about, those are a few weird ones. But when it comes to actual things that I use in games, and I just kind of absorb them from other gamers and people I play with, to be honest. Before I started playing Overwatch, really, I never really played. I haven't played real first person shooters. Nice. And those are some abbreviations, all the genres of games we could go into. We're not going to. Time, remember, this is a 1-hour show. But as it pertains to types of heroes, and like every type of game, there's a finite number of game mechanics that exist, especially, and then in FPSs, there's certain terms that are used from one FPS to another. Mm-hmm. And one of those was hit scan. So I was like, what is a hit scan? What does that mean? It means there's just no time. Wherever your cursor is or wherever you're aiming, the action that you're doing is going to hit right on the cursor with no
bullet
lead
travel
or
time.
bullet travel time. It's just going to hit. So McCree in Overwatch is one. Anna, when she's scoped, I didn't know this. There's bullet travel when she's not scoped. There is when she is. There isn't.
Yeah, and you see a little trail too. Yeah.
And that's what that lag is. You feel when it comes out of her. It's her bullet travel. So you actually have to lead slightly, which is crazy. And then on the flip side of that, there's projectile, which there is bullet or projectile distance object or object travel time.
Right.
And then that's just technically Lucio is, and then Zenyatta and Hanzo. So you have to lead to some extent. Some of the things of traveling faster than the others, so you just got to learn it. PUBG 100% is projectile technically because of bullet drop. But when you're within a certain distance, then it's hit scan. So it's like just like in real life. If you had a real gun, like the farther you're away, your bullet needs to take a little bit of time to get there. But more or less, if a guy's right in front of you, then it's more or less instant. So those kind of terms, it was learning those. I'm like, I don't know how, because I never really played like Twitch does it because I'm playing with guys who are like pretty hardcore, and all my friends were never really that hardcore. So we just said, it's crazy looking back and actually playing with the kids that I thought were really, really hardcore in high school, and they don't know what I'm talking about. So I'm realizing how much more hardcore I am now than I was back then, which takes me to one that I use that literally nobody uses, and sharking. I use it because a guy I play with says it all the time, and anyone watching on Twitch knows who I'm talking about. But when you're in a car and PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, you're about to try to hit somebody, it's called sharking. So I'm gonna shark him.
Oh.
And so we just yell out sharking when we're driving in the car, and I know exactly what he's talking about. He's going to try to run some guys down. Never works. We never hit him. We're really bad at driving, and then we probably hit a tree right behind him and get out of the car, and I'm on the wrong side of the car, and then they kill me. That's usually how it works.
Sounds
with him,
right.
His driving, and then another quick one. I'll hit this really quick. In PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, and any game that's like strategy, like gunplay, like PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds is. Defilade is like a military term. So def, meaning you have hard cover in front of you, but not to the sides. So you can
I
say
had no idea. I thought that was short for definitely.
no.
Like,
Well,
are you
Def,
having a good day,
mean,
Trev? And you're like, Def.
Yeah. Like you playing good day. You're like obvi. No,
Obvi.
it's not.
And then
It's
you
not.
quickly unfriend that person.
Then you quickly unfriend that person. No, Def. I say, we have a nice little Def here, meaning it's like a little like ridge where we could walk up it, but if we stay below it, no one can see us except for the right and left. So like, great way to approach is from Deflate, and that's something I learned from the English dudes who play PUBG streamers, Break and Sacriel. They say Def constantly, so I was like, I took it from them, and I said, hey, that's a great way to explain where I am in this game. Those are just like the ones that are I think they got on the list because they're like new, and
right?
They came to mind. Like,
those Def.
A lot of people,
yeah, yours are a lot better than mine.
Yeah. So those are my little ones. I for the most part though, everything else I say like other gamers would know.
Sure.
Those are pretty much it.
Yeah. So I've got a couple. I think a couple are obvious, and then I'm just stupid. But the first one is FTW. Didn't know what it meant for the longest time, and I just used context to like type it, even though I had no idea what it meant and stuff. So is the best translation that I've run into. It means for the win, so be like, hey, we're going to record the weekly intake this morning. FTW means I'm pretty excited about it, and we're going to walk away feeling like winners, right? So that was the first one. The second one was MT, Mary Todd. So it stands for mistel. Means that when you accidentally send, you're texting back your mom via iMessage on your Mac and be like, no, I want ranch dressing with my pepperoni Tostinos. If you type that into your Lord of the Rings ERP chat, has very, very different connotations. You need to let them know. Be like, MT, sorry. That was for my mom.
Like when you send a text to the wrong person.
Yeah, exactly.
You were whispering someone in the game, then you went to whisper someone else, and then the other person's name came up. You didn't realize that you typed. Like when you text your mom, "I love you," when you meant it said it to your girlfriend. You guys know what I mean? That kind of stuff.
Yeah. What's a girlfriend? All right. Last but not least. So this one I have a little story for. Then I promise we can move on. ERP. So, imagine a young 11, 12-year-old lad. He is hanging out in his Lord of the Rings RP chat rooms. A hot lass goes ahead and PMs, it's a private message, PMs me and be like, hey, you want an ERP? And the young 11-year-old is like, yes, I would love to electronic role play, over the internet. Role play over the internet, right? ERP. You walk on in, young Arwin _ cutie pie _ whatever, bow handler, slowly unties her blouse. And you're like, what? Little did you know, after you Yahoo search engine ERP, you find out that E means erotic and not electronic. Dude, yes, that's how I discovered what ERP meant, was in a one-on-one conversation, probably with a 55-year-old balding man, removing his Arwen blouse. So it means erotic, not electronic. Chat, please do not make the same mistake that I did. All right. Is it getting uncomfortable? Is it kind of hot? Or are you like canceling all of your hot Arwen _ RP names on Yahoo chat?
Well, I just closed my my 4 tabs that I had open with the best ERP servers, and now that I know what they are, I don't even want to do it.
I just want an electronic RP, bro.
I
just want electronic role play. Yeah.
Like honestly, it was funny enough that you're telling me about that you would go 6-7 hours a day of doing this, and then, but you know what? Doesn't surprise me. You know, the internet was new. You know, 15 years ago, we were these social opportunities were kind of new, like Yahoo, MSN Messenger, AIM. Like, think about it. So.
I was young and impressionable, you know.
Let's just say I think there's more people probably in this chat and possibly listening to this podcast that would be like, well, maybe I have a little bit of a story where I got in one of those situations. I got halfway, 3 hours into a conversation, and someone drops an ASL on me, and I'm like, what?
Yeah,
new.
I remember ASL.
I thought you were just a nice guy, a kid from California. We were just the same age. We just wanted to play video games. That's not what's happening here.
It's amazing how many 17-year-old females from California there are. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah.
It was, I get it.
It's weird.
Anyways, for a brief moment of internet safety, do not give out your personal information. If we do have some young and impressionable young lads and lasses who are listening to this show, be safe. Our mistakes don't mean that you should repeat them. And by our mistakes, I mean Kick Tripod's mistakes. Trevor does make mistakes, but I do.
Obviously.
And that's like, electronic role play. Sounds like fun. Sir, put your clothes back on.
Sir.
Sir.
Just assume.
Yeah. All right.
Well, really quick, let's touch on we could go forever on this, but real quick, some non-Twitch users. Everyone here at the moment watching live is a Twitch user. So really quick, we'll touch on some Twitch stuff. Kappa means more or less sarcasm. There's a lot of debate on when to use a Kappa, and actually,
spoiler alert, you're using it too much already. Sorry.
You're using it too much. It's not transitive. So if you say it once on a statement, it doesn't mean that it's automatically applied to every statement after that. Twitch chat. That's been a problem in my chat, and we've been arguing about it. A pleb, someone who is not subbed to the channel they're watching, more or less. Someone who can come in and out, say stupid stuff, and then just leave. That is a pleb. A lurker is someone who is watching, never says anything in the chat, which it sounds negative. The word lurker sounds really negative. It's not.
I'm a lurker.
We're both. Yeah, I lurk quite a bit. Kicked and I, both broadcasters ourselves, we appreciate every lurker, anybody who has spent 1 second in our channel, even if they don't say anything. We appreciate it. So I know you do. Like everybody, anyone who has anybody come in at all ever and give them a little bit of their attention is great. K Kona, also.
I have no idea what this means.
So it's just like hillbilly, like just think of that in your head. Think of a banjo playing.
So I have to use three. I have 3 syllables to say something. I could go "der" with one. Sounds like the internet.
Yeah. Like dueling banjos. The beginning of just think of the first measure in dueling banjos, and then hyper lull or lul.
Sacre lul. Yeah.
Lull is an extrapolation of LOL. It started LOL, then it went to lol, and then it went to hyper lol, which just means super more lol. So haha, you're an haha. Look at you.
It's like when LOL went to LMAO.
Yeah.
Right. Laugh out loud to laughing my Aragorn off.
How many times have you said Aragorn in this episode so far?
Not enough. You can never have enough Aragorns in the world.
Was a great cast.
Yeah.
And then we talked about Forehead, and then Baby Rage is just what this podcast is formed on. Combination of just, I hate it. Whenever I see Baby Rage, it actually literally makes me mad. So which does the
as a broadcaster, especially, yeah.
It's the equivalent of someone saying when you're pissed off, saying "calm down," like it's equivalent of that.
No, it's for me, it's more like somebody saying, "Wah, Trevor didn't get a kill in PUBG." Wah.
Yeah. Well, but I meant like the feeling it evokes, and like how it pisses me off more.
Right. Well, yeah. Then you're just like, I've got chat telling me that what I'm saying about the game is basically I'm just being a whiny baby, right?
And vast majority of the time they're right.
Yeah.
To be honest.
Okay.
You look back later, you're like, man, they were right. I was just mad.
This topic was a lot more fun. I mean, I expected it to be fun, but it was really fun.
It was fun. Yeah. Gamer Slang's great. Then there's, go if you go really look out there, guys, you can find all kinds of great stuff.
And weird stuff.
I
can tell you all the shorthands for ERPs now. So
God.
Let me know.
You know way too much about that stuff. So moving on to the next topic, we talked about it last week. We were going to delve maybe a little bit more in when we get a few more hours into the game. We want to touch on PoE, Path of Exile, a little bit. I know that it says here in our itinerary that you were able to get about 10 hours, and I think I have like 6 or 7 hours into the game now. And one thing that I really liked, and I think it's because I played Darkest Dungeon like a week ago, where I don't know if you've played Darkest Dungeon.
No.
But the dialogue in Darkest Dungeon is phenomenal. Like the voice acting is awesome. Cool. It really is great. And so, but when you go look at the little you find the things in the game, and where Path of Exile, where it gives you a piece of the story and stuff, and the guy reading those, it might be the same voice actor, just epic. So you're like, wow, the dialogue and the lore in this game is phenomenal. ARPGs actually do a really good job of, for the most part, like Diablo, same thing. Like just kind of like as you discover the lore and doing the quests and all this stuff, and then you get like the guy reading off his thing in his super super epic voice. I was like, at least a lot of the games lately maybe have been more focused on looking really nice and lacking maybe in the like,
what am I doing here? Yeah,
exactly. So I'm a huge fan of fantasy books. I love some of my favorite writers are like Joe Abercrombie, Brandon Sanderson. I don't know if you read much fantasy, but basically these books, if it's like 1,200 pages, I'm like, I'm in. It's one of those like super detailed, like unique, and like this for whatever reason, of course, the essence of the game is you're kind of walking on the whatever that angle is, they call it, the 2D plane, right?
Right.
The angle that has a name. I can't remember what it
also
is.
Means something totally different in ERP, by the way. The angle.
Okay. Yeah, it's pretty much you're grinding out, you're killing things, and you're getting gear, and then you go to town, and then you do it over again. Which you can say that about any game that's just rinse and repeat. But I think the lore is what kind of makes it long stretches of playable.
Totally.
For me, anyways. So, and I got it. I'm like, I kind of want to know why are we exiled? Is this like Rome, or is it like more like, what's going on? So, because of the whole statue at the beginning of the game too, where you're like, is that Julius Caesar? I'm very confused. But I like I like it. I'm enjoying it. When I'm getting frustrated by my main bay games, I go straight to PoE. So yeah, I mean, how are you feeling about it?
So I have never really invested a lot of time into dungeon crawlers. With Diablo 3 when it first came out, I did the pre-order so I could get the WoW pets and the card back. I don't know if there was a card back for Hearthstone. I can't remember if it was before or after, but like I did it for the in-game perks and other Blizzard games. And I played through a couple quests, and I'm like, at least right now where I am in my life, ERP takes up most of my time, and so I'm just not quite ready for. I'm just not quite ready for this commitment. It didn't totally jive with me. But revisiting Path of Exile has made me want to go back to Diablo 3, which is kind of seen as king of the dungeon crawler, I would say. The whole Diablo series. Without Diablo, not saying dungeon crawlers wouldn't exist, but would as good of ones exist? I would say probably not. And a few things that I realized. First and foremost, navigationally, super confusing still. I'm still like, what am I doing? Why are these gems connected? And why does that matter? And why is this all of a sudden a support gem? And I'm just like, I don't get it. Why are these the same color, but they do different things? Oh, well, this one has a dragon caressing it. So also an ERP term. Just, you know, it was just kind of weird. I hate the gem system. And then the fact that there's so many like abilities that you have to do. It was like 5. I'm like, what is this? League of Legends? Give me 3, bro. So that was the first thing I noticed. Second thing, after about 10 hours, I was like, okay, this is starting to get kind of easy and mind-numbing, and I start to appreciate these more complex systems. Ones where it's a little bit more fun, like, oh, I can use these 2 gems together and it's going to amplify my damage or whatever. And I'm like, okay, this makes sense. I can see why someone who spent 200, 300, 400 hours on this is like, give me more complexity, give me more than Diablo 3 gives me, because it's something I spend a lot of time on. And in the end, all I really care about is loots, but keep me engaged. You know, that way as well, right?
It's extremely dungeon crawlers are extremely grindy. There's no like mechanics. You're shooting something in a direction. Like that's really what you're doing.
At least for like the first 5 or 6 playthroughs. You know, I've got people who I don't even know the Paragon numbers, but they're Paragon Infinity in Diablo. Right. One of the guys who streams for BlizzPro and does their West March Workshop podcast is like top 30, 40, 50 players in the world when it comes to this. And he just is like ungodly at it. And, you know, at the higher ends, it gets more challenging. You're doing more damage. You're literally filling up your screen with damage meters. And I'm like, cool, each fireball hits for 6 kind of thing. It feels super dumb. But I definitely appreciate it. I still think that Diablo 3 does it better as an overall game. When it comes to like the fishnet that's going to catch people right there, I think Diablo 3, you know, does a better job of that. Mark Noseworthy, one of the lead designers for Destiny 2 and Destiny at Bungie, you know, talked about how that's how he got his wife into gaming was Diablo, because it is very much, you know, left click everything, use the occasional ability, have fun, watch lore. Here's one thing I didn't figure out until way too late. I love lore games. Some of my favorite games, like I love the Fable series.
Oh yeah, I love Fable.
Oh man, Fable 2 was like my jam. I could tap that beer so well and make that Skrilla, yo. And this is why I resorted to ERPing on the internet. And so yeah, it was like I love the Fable series. I love the lore. I did not find out how to fully listen to the NPCs and their lore bits until about hour 9. So I can't remember. I think I was escaping away. And so it would just stop. I either stood there and listened to the whole paragraph, 3 paragraphs usually, or I escaped and walk away. And if you just like click and walk away, he'll keep reading, or she, or it.
Yeah. Click and walk away.
So
that's what I was talking about. That's why I thought it was awesome. Like, and it was all epic, and I could walk and go move on with my life, and they keep talking.
Right. And they do that in Diablo and never had an issue with Path of Exile, though. For whatever reason, I kept like every time I walked away, I'm like, why do you stop talking? Let me do my thing. Sure enough, it was my fault. So please don't make that same mistake. But ultimately, it was a fun game. I could see why hardcore players would prefer it over Diablo, because after your 12th playthrough, the story, you care less about the lore. You care more about the loot and how you're that big old tree,
that big skill tree, which is I told the guy, I was like, yeah, I'm just kind of winging it. Like a guy was playing, he's like, what? How are you just, dude? I'm like, what? Okay, for one thing, you're yelling at me. Another thing, that's how I play games, man. I'm gonna make all these mistakes. I'm gonna realize that some of these are stupid and they don't matter. I know that you can't respec, so I'll just make another. Like, I'm not worried about it. I'm not putting 10,000 hours in this game. So just, or maybe I do, and then I'll be so good at it that it won't matter. So, just,
good.
But that
feels good to be good in a one-person game. That
that where you don't have to be constantly shown by other people that you suck. And let's go back. Let's be honest. Let's be honest. Me and you, we're huge Blizzard fanboys. So Blizzard makes games.
It's easy.
It's going to be given way too much, way more chances to be great than we'll give other games. So I completely get that. I played for whatever reason when I took a 4-year hiatus. I don't want to say hiatus from games, but where I wouldn't really, with the exception of League. In the off season, I played League all the time. League was my only game. But I wasn't really huge. Like, I could get up and walk away and not play for a week. Like, I could do that. So in those times, I'd play a little bit of PS4, and I played Diablo a little bit on PS4 and again, Diablo on PS4 is an easy game to go translate from, because again, there's just not very many controls. So you're just aiming and clicking.
It's just to mind them. It's like The Sims. You don't play that to be intellectually and physically challenged. You play that because summer down the street is hot and you want to get with that.
Exactly. And that's the one goal. So yeah, I mean, I liked it. I'll keep playing it. It'll be fun. Right at the end of this topic though, I wanted just to really quickly touch on Dauntless. I got a little bit more into it, just a little bit. Since we were talking about lore and NPCs, oh my goodness, Dauntless's voice acting on their NPCs is horrible. It is
horrible. I thought you were gonna say it was awesome.
It is horrendous. You're dude, you just sound like some dude at Wendy's. And it's
I'll take a number 3, and can you read this off for me?
It's it's supposed to be kind of, I don't know, there's a tiny little bit of steampunkness in it, and you're expecting everyone to have British accents, and they're just like, hey man, what do you need? And it's kind of not loud enough either. It was just there's a lot. They're oh shit, none of our NPCs say anything. We need to get some. Hey devs, do you guys want to be the voice actors too? They're like, sure. It's what it sounds like. It's really poor. But the idea behind the game, it is a co-op RPG. You go and right now it's in super duper alpha or whatever they're calling it. They're releasing this game in 9 stages. I don't know what the heck's going on, but visually beautiful. The mechanics of fighting a monster or whatever, and they only have the easiest monsters out right now. So it's got a whole kind of a invulnerability dodging system similar to a Dark Souls, which is cool.
Sure.
You have special abilities you do with everyone can use all the weapons, so there's no real classes, but then you start to specialize more as you choose a weapon to kind of level up. There's 4 weapons now. I think there's going to be a ton of them. There's going to be a bunch of zones to go, and I just hope it's not you just go into these separate instances and of killing a monster, coming back to town, killing a monster, coming back to town. That right now that's what it is. Mm-hmm. But visually and kind of how it's got a little bit of WoW, but with Dark Souls mechanics to fight is kind of cool, because you can fight 4 people. Fighting a boss in Dark Souls would be cool. I think.
Sure.
A bunch of people trying to dodge.
I'm too scared to play Dark Souls. So,
it's dude.
You know,
it's but I've been.
I like to leave my closet
bit.
open at night. That's all I'm saying.
You'd be less scared of it, more so frustrated that it would make you let sleep. You'd be like,
okay,
should I go try this again? Like, and then most of the time you're gonna be like, no, I should actually never try this again. But yeah, so Dauntless, it's on the playlist. My wife's actually gonna play the open beta on the 1st of September with me. Cool. So I'm gonna see what it's like to. It does look like a pretty. It's in a stage right now too, where a good starter game for like a role playing. For people who like are. It's fairly simple. There's not a lot of things to remember. There's some they're working on. There's a little bit of lore. It's just the voice acting's awful. I hope it's change. I don't know. Cool. It's truly terrible. But I just wanted to touch on that and say that's a game that sounds interesting. They got all kinds of ways to get a key and try it, and the open beta starts on the 1st. So you're going to see people playing it on Twitch and stuff. So it's cool. Interesting. I'm probably going to play it again. And I'll probably check in again in a further episode to give you more details on how it's going.
My chat usually tells me when I'm like, I want to play a new game, and stuff. They're like, play Dauntless. I love the art style of it. It reminds me of like a 3D version of, in Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows, where they do like the explanation of the Deathly Hallows and like that animation style.
Yeah.
Reminds me of a 3D version of that. And I think that's really cool what they do. I hope that they're successful and that they can hire some voice actors.
Oh.
Okay, so last topic we had for the week was Gamescom. And I think you and I both watched a bit of that PUBG Invitational.
I did.
I really want to get your thoughts on this one. What you thought about the broadcast overall, third person, duos, everything. Were you a fan?
Okay, I'm a huge fan of the game. Huge gripe, and I see where people are griping is how much the camera is moving around. Right? They were like always like, this guy's in the water.
Only 100 people.
There's 100 people. Okay. Or there's 75 or whatever. It's all timing. So like, give them a break. Like, it's one of the first real big tournaments. So like, you're not going to catch every fight. It's going to have to. This is where people are going to have to. Where broadcasts of games in this way on Twitch are going to have to make this change. Is they're going to have 3 spectators at least watching, and then they're going to have someone that's the producer that is actually controlling OBS, and each scene has a different view, so that instead of one person trying to find which spectator and cycling through them or clicking on them, you know what I mean? There's 3 people doing it, and then you can have all 3 in front of you and pick which one you want to be at, like a broadcast does. Like
Overwatch already has double that. They have at least 6 spectators and a producer, and it still is really hard, at least for the Blizzard official stuff.
And that's going to take training. It's going to take time. It's going to take a lot of, like, they're literally like, when are they going to practice it? And they're trying practice in like pubs and stuff. You just got to, like, a lot of it you got to know the teams and stuff too in Overwatch anyways. So like how they engage and stuff. So you know when to go. Like, it's all intuitive. You got to just do it a lot, I guess.
Yeah.
So
and there's not really a way to do that right now.
There's no way to do that really. So
real spectator mode. Not spectator mode, but like the tournament spectator mode. That's not really in client, right?
No.
Yeah. So they basically show up, maybe had a week or so of practice, maybe went out to Blue Ball's studio and hung out and be like, cool, get to practicing. But at the end of the day, number one, it's really difficult. Number 2, I bet you, I don't know do you know what the H1Z1 spectator looks like? Because I know that has a little bit more of an established, like, tournament present.
It's almost the same.
It's almost the same.
Really
so they probably, spent some time researching, or maybe they tried to just snag H1Z1 spectators. But
the game's different though. It's just it's faster. It's so much faster.
Totally is. You're smaller, less loot dependent, more just balls to the wall.
And they ran 3 PP. They ran third person, right? So third person, you're zooming in on a fight. You're like, these 2 dudes are about to fight. When in reality, they're just looking up over a hill at each other
true.
for like
They're
a long time. So you're like,
peeking.
you go to move on to someone else, like because they're closer to each other, but maybe one's swimming in the water. On the map, they look like they're close and they might be fighting, but in reality, they don't see each other. Then you go there and you're like, when are they going to fight? So it's all anticipation.
It's a lot of positioning stuff. So
positioning. You need to be floating around an area, and then as soon as they start fighting, zoom in. Like that's what they wanted. They keep giving first person because they're banking on a lot of streamers, a lot of people like getting the first persons. You know, and the biggest thing, and that's going to take working out, but there is a way to do it, and it's going to get better. So people whining about that is just come on. But they need, when they're scoring, to take. They need to wait, and everyone made this case. In H1, you need to weight kills heavier in points. You cannot get stuck between two rocks, sit there and med from 45 10, to 8, and then win. And then his game he won, he just hid behind rocks the whole game and got the kill. He killed one guy at the beginning and then killed the last guy who just came running out after. The dude who he killed had just killed like 5 people, like bang, 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 in a room, in a house, you know. And he's like, all right, I gotta go to the circle. And as soon as he runs out of the house, everyone's just like, I won. Like, but Break won a one with 7 or with 11 kills.
Right, one of the first rounds,
And he went nuts, but he took second overall in the first because he got knocked out he only took like 32nd or something the second game.
Right.
So he took second overall.
I'm so conflicted over this because I 100% agree, right? At the end of the day, you should be able to effectively weight positioning and, you know, the ability to loot well and, you know, get in the right spots in the circle. You should be able to weight that against, did you kill people? You know, like, and right now it's very much like, how long can you survive before you have to start fighting people? And that sucks. Like that just, you know, even when I play PUBG, it's like, where can we go with the most loot with the least people? Right. And like that's the name of the game. Now I'm not playing with like Lass and, you know, other hardcore PUBG people. You know, I'm playing with fairly casual people. I peaked in duos at about 4,300 and I was super proud. Super proud. But you know, it's a totally different thing for a player like me. And, you know, I get for casual playing or whatever, you know, maybe they do a casual and a ranked or whatever where you finish versus the amount of kills you get is weighted differently. But especially in a tournament, I'm like, I don't want to see Break get 11 kills. And if he doesn't finish in the top 5, he's 7th, you know, like I don't want to see that. I want to see him rewarded more for that. So I think that's a great
And thing. I'm saying weighting it, just like adjusting it a little bit. And here's where I think the strategic skill, you need to weight the strategy and the actual, if 2 people are fighting each other, you can determine who is better by who wins the fight. Like when I play the game, I want to, when a guy sees me, when I see a guy, I want to be able to kill him. I want me and him shooting at each other. I want to win those fights. And that's how I determine whether or not I'm playing well or not. I can go through and be like, oh, I won the game with 3 or 4 kills. But if I killed every guy and none of them shot back at me because I was coming in, I don't feel like I'm like, I won. But the game where I get like 6, 7 kills and I outplayed 4 guys, like but I take like 13th. I'm more like, wow, that was a good game. Like I'm happy because that's the way I feel like I'm getting better. And so when I watch people play, I watch Anthony, I watch Shroud, I watch these guys who are like who like actively want to fight because that makes them better. And like Grim, since they do this stuff on purpose, Grim said he used to, when he first started playing the game, first 100 hours, he'd like, yeah, bro, I was winning all the time, but I was always getting like 4 or 5 kills, and I got really bored. So I wanted to. I wanted to get better.
I'm like that at like 30 hours, right? I think I'm at like 60, 70 hours of total game played. And I'm like, I am just sick of looting for 25 minutes and then dying in the top 15. Like, I'm like, get me people, let me fight. I don't care if I die. I just want to be fighting people, and I want to be rewarded for fighting people.
Exactly. So, I don't know. That was just making a little bit of adjustments there. And you know, Evermore obviously was a guy who plays the circle. He's out in the circle a lot. He was out in the circle the whole freaking time, and he ended up winning because he got a win. He snuck in a win of one of the 3 matches, and he won. And he took top 10 one other time and took like top 20 the other time, so he won. But all in all, though, I thought the broadcasters were really excited. I thought that they got the crowd excited. I thought that it was cool, and I hope
especially
the game,
for all the production issues. Yeah.
Yeah, and then they played they played some first person games too, and that everyone who was playing loved that. So I think first person is probably the future of the pros. And it's just more fun to watch anyways, because then you're always scanning the screen. Dude, watching first person in like a top 10 situation, you're just scanning. You're like, are they going to see him? Or are they like the whole time I stop what I'm doing and I just keep watching. I think that's fun to watch. So, there's a lot of opportunity there. Yes, it's slow at the beginning, but the end, I think the end of a PUBG game is probably the most captivating thing out there in gaming right now. And that's why everyone loves it. But going back to Gamescom, PUBG is great. I could talk about it all day, but there was an announcement that I'm fired up with. I'm going to handle this one. This is a game I played so much.
Nerd.
Yeah. Go ahead.
My friend, my best friend growing up, his dad built 4 PCs in their house. I swear to God that he himself probably could have been a world-class Age of Empires player. The way he would go up against 4 hard enemies versus
3 other people in the world. Yeah.
He would systematically just delete them from the map. Age of Empires 4 has been announced. Judging by the trailer, I guess every civilization in the history of the world is going to be represented here. I don't really know. Wow. Because usually they're like, there's a time period represented. But this one looks like there's certain civilizations represented. This one showed everything from Native Americans to samurais to all over the world. Anyone who doesn't know RPGs, from
Native Americans to samurais. Those are your endpoints on civilizations.
It looks nuts. Yeah. It's an RTS. You epoch through the ages, right? And you upgrade your stuff. You get weapons, and then you get all the way up to the modern ages where you're sending MiGs over their base and dropping bombs on them and stealth bombers and all that stuff. So I love the games. They're probably just going to be a remastered element. I can't imagine what the graphics going to look like or what it's going to run like, but I'm excited. Those are great. Just like super strategic kind of history. They're very, very linked in with history too, which is something I'm a fan of. So I don't know, it's gonna be fun. I'm gonna play the crap out of it. But again, streaming and stuff, I don't think that's gonna be a streaming game, but it's gonna be fun to play.
Sure.
And anytime any new RTS is gonna come out, I played RTSs, Command and Conquer, Red Alert, Age of Empires, Warcraft 3. I was a huge RTS guy. Those were huge back then, so I played all of them. So I'm excited. I think it's great.
Awesome. Yeah, the only thing I really wanted to touch on from Gamescom was the Hearthstone and Overwatch digital short. So we got a May digital short from Overwatch, which was amazing. That was not a pun. That was not a pun.
Whatever you say.
Yeah. It was really those digital shorts are so good. They're one of my favorite parts about Overwatch. Honestly, even when I'm not playing Overwatch, I love comics and shorts and the Doomfist anime looking thing. All awesome. But Hearthstone came out with a Pixar-esque digital short as well, which was actually pretty cool too. So make sure you check those out. They're on all the YouTubes. I'll try to throw it into the show notes. But I thought it was really great. I was really excited. I've never followed Gamescom closely, and I tried to more, specifically for this show, just to be like, I want to know a little bit more than my little Blizzard bubble. And still walked away with the Blizzard stuff was kind of the best. So besides the Xbox One X pre-order dates and Scorpio and stuff, that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
But besides that was me for Gamescom. Pretty straightforward and simple.
Yeah. Gamescom, again, I haven't watched. I don't really follow it. Honestly, I'm starting to get way, way, way more into these things because, let's be honest, it's starting to become more of a lot of what we do.
Right.
Being up on the stuff. But honestly, I've never been to a com. So
cool. Yeah.
I'm going to TwitchCon and just looking at how they do things. It's something that I'm probably going to start doing, as time allows and stuff, more in the off season. But like it's, gives me a good excuse to kind of travel a little bit more and go see some stuff. And it just looks like a lot of fun. Video games, there's all kinds of cool stuff you can find out there, and you meeting a lot of the people that are doing other cool stuff, great networking opportunities. And I don't know, it's just, it looks like a lot of fun. And of course, it's becoming a little more mainstream now. And to be honest, a lot more money is being poured into these things. So the production value is getting pretty nutty, pretty insane. So it's become, there's something for everybody. So
totally,
I think they're worth the watch, and Twitch does a good job of the broadcast on Twitch for pretty much all the big cons are is pretty dang good, and you can get a lot of information and good little bits there. So
definitely,
yeah.
Well, let's talk about what's going on next week, because we got to get out of here. I know you've got to get out of here. So first, we got PAX West coming up September 1st through the 4th. It's going to be in Seattle. That's Trevor. That's like your home base, but you're not there, right? So. So that's going to be going on. Luke Smith, the game director for Destiny 2, is going to be delivering the keynote speech at PAX West. Even though they revealed kind of a couple new trailers and things at Gamescom. So I wonder if we're going to see something right there. Also, I'm pretty excited about this. I have a Nintendo Switch. I love Rocket League. The Rocket League, there's going to be a demo available on Switch. I don't know if that's been a thing. I couldn't find anything where that's been playable before. That might be really out of date stuff, but I would love to play some Rocket League on Switch.
I'm not gonna lie. That might
be the tipping point.
That might be the next level for me getting into Rocket League. I played a little bit on PC. I love Lucio Ball. It's fun as hell. So like, I like the premise. I think it's super like, you can be as into it or not into it as you want, and it's just fun either way.
Yeah,
super
absolutely.
chill. And having it on the Switch though, I think that just makes sense.
Right,
it just makes sense.
Totally.
Like adding, and of course they're gonna have the accelerometer. What are those called?
Oh God, no! I hope not. Yeah, the accelerometer or gyrometer.
You probably can turn it on or whatever. It probably has
like
something
Mario
to do with it.
Kart. Yeah.
When Kate plays, she's like,
right. When I play, I'm still
place.
like that. Even in like Destiny, just like
So
yeah.
Jump. So
Jump.
yeah, I think it'll be fun. I'm gonna play it. And then and lastly, what we got here? I'll let you take it.
The Destiny 2 beta on PC is going to be going on. I'm so excited about this. Finally happening 2 days from now. So that's going to be going on. I think you and I can both agree here that much of our time is going to be invested into the D2 beta. We'll see what it looks like. I actually bought a 4K TV last week. So I'm going to run a long extension cord from my living room into my studio and play a little 4K D2. I'm on a 1440p monitor right now, so I think it'll look great as well. It's a pretty beefy computer. Really excited about it. We'll probably spend a good amount of time next week talking about our experiences with the Destiny 2 beta on PC, how it looks and how it feels. So
yes, I'm excited.
Cool.
It's already installed on the computer. I'm ready. Like I'm set. And you just said, I'm running on I have a little it's a placeholder monitor right now. I didn't expect to actually have a full setup here in Minnesota, to be honest, when I got ready. So this is like $100 Acer, basic gaming 60 hertz. I'm realizing now that I can't play PUBG well on this thing.
60 to 144 hertz. Once you lose those 84 hertz, dude, it's a big deal, man.
It is a big deal. So actually, I'm making a purchase today. I'm thinking I'm gonna get use one of these. There's 3 streamers that are all sponsored by different monitors. So I'm gonna see which one can give me the best deal on a
coin flip it. Yeah.
Possibly a 31-inch guy. It depends on what. Nice. It depends. Yeah, honestly,
I'm on a 27-inch. Yeah, and it's awesome.
27's fine. Yeah, 27. Back home in Seattle, all 3 of my monitors are 144 hertz. So here, when I go home, I'm on a laptop with a 60 hertz, and then when I go home, I'm on my like big beautiful desktop with my triple monitors, my all 44.
Yeah.
So it's big difference, but yeah, I think I'm realizing that I stream more on this than I do on the other one. So
yeah,
probably should probably make it
cough it up.
But
yep,
I'm excited. I think Destiny 2 is going to be the straw that breaks the. I need the full immersion, or I'm going to be mad. So we're gonna do that before we play.
Right.
So yeah,
let's get out of here.
I'm excited for. Yeah, let's get out of here. Really quickly. We forgot to do this last week, and we need to do this. This is important. Do not forget to go follow myself, Trevor May, on all the social medias. That is Trev May 65 on Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat, and Instagram. And I am Trevor May on YouTube and here at twitch.tv.
Awesome. Yeah, as for me, you can find me everywhere at Kick Tripod, Twitter, Twitch, and everything else. What's your YouTube, Trevor? Because that's where the VODs are being posted.
Oh, you can find this on YouTube at I Am Trevor May channel. So I Am Trevor May.
YouTube.com/I Am Trevor May is where you can find that there. We're also on your RSS feeds now. So iTunes, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, Podcast Addict, everywhere you want to check us out, head on over. Just search for The Weekly Intake. You'll find it right there. Not only that, if you leave a 5-star review on Stitcher or iTunes, we'll mispronounce your name on the show. Just say a nice little thank you for reviewing the show. It means a lot, helps us be rated higher on iTunes and stuff. So that's going to do it. Thank you guys for joining us for episode 2. Hope you didn't mind too much ERP talk this week. We will see you guys all next week. Same time, same place, 6:30 a.m. Pacific time, twitch.tv/I Am Trevor May. See you guys next week.